What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. I don't know what episode this is. Two of my videos were removed. I don't know if I did it or if YouTube did it or what the hell happened, but I'm like, we had whole conversations over here about some of these things. What's up, y'all? Here I am. We had whole conversations over here about some of these things, and now they're gone, but it's fine. I'm over it. I've been, clicking and ticking and trying to find things, but the past is the past, and here we are now. So we're gonna do a little catch up. I actually didn't do last week's video because it wasn't a whole lot going on last week. Aside from the dinner over to the Fletcher's house, there was a lot of Martell over here stroking Chris's ego, trying to make him feel better about Nell being his boss and, being on his payroll. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get on into it. We're going to start here. These two people, Ken and Trisha. Y'all, Ken and Trisha are outside. I don't know why. These are two very muscle-bound people. They are outside. Ken is constantly thirst trapping, and so does Trisha to some extent. But they both have very beautiful bodies, and so that's their business. And I'm guessing that's what this is about over here. But these two are going back and forth. Are they together? Did they spin the block? This one over here, Ken, said he met some nurse that's much more feminine than Trisha, but then he comes back over here and he wants to be with Trisha, and I don't care. I'm tired of whatever they're doing over here. Y'all was over here talking about how perfect your relationship was, with the exception of Marquez, and now he's gone and y'all can't get it together. Y'all are down in the DMs, which is where y'all met. So this is where y'all's mess gets, started, down in the DMs. She's over here sending licky faces, licky tongues to Lance. Lance ain't shit. Let's talk about that since my videos were deleted. Lance ain't shit. He's over here. He got 3 baby mamas. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. He's, leaving these kids over here with Miss Nell, and she's tired of it. And I think Miss Nell, based on what I see, and I like Miss Nell, but based on what I see, stay out your kids' business, and then they won't, be all up in yours. So that's where that is. But yeah, Ken and Trisha, I mean, I don't need any more of it, to be honest. I never thought their relationship was real. I thought, this lady was rebounding, and we found out that, Ken was the one that really wanted to be on this show. And this is what he came over here for, to, get his numbers up so he can get down in other DMs. And so I'm guessing that's working for him. He likes to sit in his car and, find a beam of sunlight and, play stupid videos, And yeah, so that's what they've got going over there with those two. These two here, where they at? Destiny and Tisha. It's been a bit of a rivalry over here with Destiny and Tisha, and I'm gonna go ahead and say not even Destiny's fault. Destiny been over here doing her thing. They both look really cute in these pictures. Destiny been over here doing her thing. She has not been trying to really have any type of issue with Tisha, but Tisha is a toddler, and she's a toddler with jealous spirit. And so I've said it before. Tisha, felt like once Melody's gone, she's next up, but she's not that girl. She is not that girl. She is Marcel Scott's wife, and she about to not be that because the man that asked for his name back. Now I don't know what that means, but yeah, we'll get to that. Anyway, this rivalry is about nothing because Tisha wants Destiny to apologize for whatever she got her feelings hurt over that she doesn't remember. And if that don't make sense, Destiny is like, tell me what I did wrong. I don't remember what you did. I just remember how I felt, and it hurt my feelings. So, Tisha wants Destiny to apologize for something that she don't even know is happening to her. It's a tantrum. That's what it is. When Tisha's not getting full attention, she throws a tantrum. And I don't want to say but in now I'm just at a loss for words because this shit is just so silly. To her own detriment, I would say that. To her own detriment, Tisha tends to lose friendships based on her spoiled child behavior. And so ain't nobody got time, to be chasing around Tisha's feelings when you don't know what the hell, you did to make her be in her feelings. Destiny has been focusing on real estate. I prefer this Destiny. I'm gonna be honest. I don't need her over in the storage unit selling, not selling, but pretending to sell broken hearted candles and, big dick energy body spray. I feel like that's really not ever been her lane. I don't know, when you want to do those types of things, you got to be full in. And I don't think she was ever full in. Whatever your business in is, you got to be full in. You can't just be like, well, I'm on this show, so I'm going to throw up a website with some, pre-made candles and, throw some mugshot pictures on a t-shirt and call it a business. If you're not passionate about it, if you're not putting your 100% all in it, because everybody under every rock, under every sun beam has a business of candles and t-shirts and things of that nature, including myself. So I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that when you're in that lane, you got to put all your energy into it or nothing is going to happen. And so Destiny as a real estate agent is more real and, probably is going to make her more money and makes her business more legitimate, I feel like. Tisha's over there still trying to sell that same office and hasn't sold that house, that Whitehall house that these people, her husband, was over there building. It's a box. He built a $650,000 box. I think Marcel only knows how to work in squares. That being said, she hasn't sold either thing. And so maybe Destiny coming over here and getting this listing is just another reason for Tisha to be jealous. That's gonna as a person, going through life with a husband like Marceau, I think it's gonna, hurt her in the long run because she's doing damage to her friendships that doesn't necessarily have to happen. Okay, so there's a fly in here. It's driving me crazy, and I've been swatting his ass, and I keep on missing. Let's talk about these people because this is what kind of took place last week. And I wasn't here to talk about it. The Fletchers and Quan and Kayla. Kayla is very pretty. She be over here on this show like being her just regular little, glasses on down to the daycare work. Kayla, we don't get to see Kayla be out here, doing the thing. Anyway, I can see why. Hey, Pac. I can see why Twan, who was it? Let's call him Antoine. So I'm guessing that's where the Twan came from. I can see why Twan would be attracted to Kayla. Nell and Fletch came over here with this Twan is my godson story. And I don't know if Twan is the godson. Twan is Lance's friend. That's it. That's all. He's his older friend with kids and an ex. I don't know if he's an ex-wife, but I know he's, been married or past relationship. I don't know. But he does have 2 children. I don't know how old Kayla is, but she's young. I'm feeling like Twan is substantially older than her. Nobody wants to see their young daughter over here dealing with some dude with a ex-baby mama, ex-wife, and 2 children. Nobody wants their daughter to start there. And nobody wants their daughter to some man that's supposed to be a friend of the family smashing their daughter behind their back without, I don't know how you would introduce this, but it got introduced through Destiny. Why? because Twan came over here and told Destiny that, there's a rumor that we didn't know about. He told Destiny there's a rumor out about him and Kayla. And Destiny's like, really? I thought that's like your little sister. And he sat over here, played in everybody's face, Destiny's, ours, Kayla's, and he tried to downplay it as if it wasn't really a thing. And that's where the problem starts. The energy towards Destiny is 100% misdirected because the person that brought this story over here was Twan. And then he tried to act like it's a rumor that's not true. So now Destiny is talking to Nell and she's like, hey, Twan said that there's some, the him and Kayla, there's a rumor about him and Kayla. So now, what's her name? Nell is thrown off and she wants to kill the messenger, which doesn't make sense. You don't kill the messenger. She planned this whole family get together. She wanted Destiny to come over and it was more like an ambush. The kids were there. Twan was there. Destiny was the last guest to arrive. Kayla is feeling some type of way because Destiny honestly had just told Nell this story about how they shut down a restaurant and their chemistry was so great. And that's probably what it was giving. This is a big dude. I looked at his Instagram. He's a butterface, but he's a big dude. She keeps saying guard my body. Now I see why she's saying that. Hey, Elsie, she just passed him through. Yeah, so I can see why. I think the attraction is just because he's a big, strong man. But his game is weak because even him over there, and I feel like, I don't know, niggas want all the pieces of the pie. So I feel like he likes both of them for different reasons. He's definitely smashing. And he almost said it to Chris Fletcher. Thank you, Elsie. She says like, share, and subscribe. Chris confronted him about it, as I think he should have. Like, bruh, you over at my house, sitting at my dinner table, and you smashing my daughter? I don't know about that. Y'all, I'm very distracted by this fly. I'm just here to tell you. And I missed it again. Anyway, Chris Fletcher confronts Twan about dating Kayla. And he said, I didn't know how to come to you and say to you that I'm having really casual dates. That's what he redirected. You was about to tell this man you was having casual sex with his daughter. That's what's happening. Kayla, just wrap it up, make him wrap it up and, ease on out of that road because he's not worth the time. And if you're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at Twan because he's trying to toot his own horn over here. And he tooted himself out the door. Seems as though nobody wants to be bothered with him. Hopefully Kayla doesn't. So this episode starts with Nell and Destiny. They had a little, Nell wanted to meet up with her after, because Destiny exited stage left from that dinner party. She's like, listen, there's nothing going on with Twan. Kayla, I love you dearly. So you have nothing to worry about over here with me. So Nell called this lunch meetup with Destiny to discuss what happened over at the house. And at first it started out like a little, tension. But at the end, Destiny had to remove herself because she's like, I don't even know why I had to be invited over there in the middle of any of that. Because as soon as this dude told me that he may or may not be dating Kayla, I feel like Destiny was like, oh, all right then, well, I'm out because I don't need that mess. I don't like this guy enough to make that an issue. I feel like Destiny chose the Fletchers. And I don't know why they didn't see that in the moment, but, it's a TV show. Maybe that's why we had to come over here. But, Ms. Nell let her know that she was there because she's family and she was confused about the whole thing. And, she, I guess, just needed some understanding. Miss Nell's always misunderstanding the situation, popping off and then having to come back later, with more calm and sensible eyes on the subject. So she did apologize. And I was looking at these two and I'm like, when Miss Nell was calling herself Melanie Holt, sorry, Melanie Cherie, sorry. I know y'all hate that, I bring her up or people bring her up, but it makes sense in this scenario. When Nell Fletcher told Melanie Cherie that she was her mentor, Melanie was like, I got a mama. Absolutely right. She doesn't need to go to Nell Fletcher for mentorship because she has a mother. 100%. And it seems like Mel and her mother have a lovely relationship. Destiny, on the other hand, does not. And I'm glad that her and Nell have this relationship. I feel like it's good. I mean, Nell is just, I think, everybody's mama. She be inviting people over to that Fletcher dinner table, family dinners and things. But um, I like that Destiny has this relationship with Nell. I'm glad that Destiny, of course, chose the Fletchers over Twan and his foolishness. But after going to Detroit and seeing, what Destiny's mother is actually like and what that must have been like for her, I think it's cool for her to have this person in her life that's not a mother figure, but an older friend. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that can be on her same level, but also offer her advice. I don't know. I don't know that Nell Fletcher gives any bad advice. We see her popping off and stuff, but when she's in this mode, this very mellow mode, she does make sense. And I think she needs friends over here too, because Scott 1 and Scott 2, they don't really vibe like that. So what's the point in it? They come to resolve. Destiny was like, the thing is, Twan was over here at dinner with me, telling me, that this was a rumor that wasn't true. Now I'm finding out it's true, and I think that's weird. So, I don't want to have nothing to do with that situation. And Miss Nell is like, I definitely don't want it to come between. Those kids are grown. They're gonna figure things out. Destiny's like, that might not even be her only, situation on her roster. She might just be seeing what's up. I think hopefully this situation opened Kayla's eyes up a little bit to how this dude is really moving. Um, and so she could move accordingly. But Miss Nell, has come to terms with the fact that these kids are grown. They are grown, and so you should let them live their lives. Of course, you're going to have conversations with Kayla. I do with my daughter. You want your daughter to not for sure make the same mistakes that you made, but unfortunately, you can only be a listening ear. You can't protect your kids from making mistakes, just like your mama couldn't stop you from doing it. Grown people gonna do what they want to do because they grown and they can. And so, yeah, these two, like I said, they resolved whatever little tension was going on between the two of them. Destiny let Nell know that she was having a self defense event for charity, raise money for whatever this self defense. I don't know. I like the idea though, with the way these niggas is out here unaliving women and having really creepy grape websites and all of the stuff that they're doing. I feel like this should be a part of girls' graduation. Get your girls if they in high school while you planning their hood prom. I'm gonna talk about hood proms on Coffee Talk because I think I love them. I love them very much. Anyway, yeah, I think it's very important for women to have some type of self defense. So Destiny invites Nell over to her event. Nell's like, of course, I'm gonna make sure to figure out, how I can be there. I don't know that this is in order because I didn't take any notes because I didn't feel like I needed them this time around. Um, we could talk about this because nothing actually happened. This was a waste of time. There was a double date with Trisha and Ken and Will and Destiny. Will is Destiny doesn't want nothing to do with. He got a bunch of baby kids, baby mamas, 4 baby mamas, and I don't know how many kids. Ken and Trisha are sitting here. They don't even seem like they like each other. I don't know who they're trying to convince. They start talking about the event that Trisha had down to the drag queen event, and she was saying she thought that Destiny and Tisha was gonna go to blows. They was. I feel like Tisha was trying to push Destiny to a point. Destiny was one step away from smacking that hoe, but she did not. She, stomped herself up out of this venue the same way she did at Nell's bridal shower when she got mad. Sonny was in there anyway. They're talking about how they broke up, how they spent the block, how they was connecting with other people while they were broke up. Will has heard this bullshit so many times. He pretty much is like, I don't even really want to sit here and listen to this. One thing about Will, Destiny said it. He out here wilding, doing his thing, but he's not trying to make no secret about it. These two are two sneaky people, both of them. Trisha's sitting up here talking about she spent the block, but she didn't, spend the block, but she did spend the block. She was uncomfortable with Destiny bringing it up. And I don't know, like at this point, it's hard to tell if Trisha's uncomfortable or not because she do a lot of stuttering and stammering. And Ken, is making faces like, oh my God, here she goes, embarrassing me again. But at the end of the day, it don't even seem like they really like each other. I don't even know why they're still sitting here pretending like, this is fun. We're going to have a double day. We have 4 people here. There's no way Will and Destiny are going to be a thing. So, yeah. And Ken and Trisha, they need each other for this show, but the word on the street is they are not filming while everybody else is. So I don't need it. You know what I mean? Bring back Marquez or, get them the hell out of here. What else happened? This was kind of a ho-hum episode, but, some things were brought up. I'm saving the last 2 things for Tisha and Marcel. So Kimmy and Maurice are sitting up here discussing other people's relationship because it's far better than discussing their own. Kimmy is uploading Maurice on how Trish says she was spinning the block, and Maurice is like mind blown. Oh my God, I can't believe. Yeah, this has nothing to do with nothing. Kimmy wants to get the Scott brothers together because she's concerned, about the fallout. And Tisha brought it up to her how, they went back and forth and how uncomfortable Marceau is with the thought of his brother Maurice suing him. Maurice is like, I'm not about to sue him. He says, I've never fought with anybody more than I fought with Marceau. We will be fine. I feel like Kimmy knows that, but, we're going to sit up here and act like, oh, this is the thing that Kimmy does. Aside from this man telling you that if she don't bend over multiple times a day, he's ready to leave. And at this point, he's just ready to leave, Kimmy. He would like to see you happy with somebody else. That's what your husband said. But we're going to sit up here and talk about Trish and Ken spinning the block, who were never supposed to be a thing in the first place. This Trish and Ken relationship is landing exactly where it was supposed to. She was grieving. She found a big old chocolate muscle man to ease her pain. She found out he's corny as hell, and now she's ready to let him go. So, yeah. That's not interesting conversation, Kimmy. You know that there's nothing wrong with these Scott brothers. They'll be perfectly fine. What's going to happen? They're not going to be friends anymore. Stop it. We know that's not the case. So she wants to get these guys together so they can talk it out. She also wants to plan a get together, a retreat of some sort for the couples to get away and, I don't know, hash out their problems. I don't know what Kimmy's thing is. I guess it's her turn to plan something. For the most part, everybody else has done it. So she's planning to get away. But we want to make sure that we're clear that it's not a girls' trip because she don't do girls' trip. I think that's so lame for y'all to act like who is your group of girlfriends? Like if I was going on a girls' trip, I'm definitely not going to be picking somebody that I don't enjoy, spending company with. However, if there's some people there that I don't really feel like I'm, jive with that much, as long as I have one road dog to, go with me, I'm fine. I got to make some adjustments, but I'm going to keep on talking. Anyway. So, yeah, I don't know why Kimmy's over here pretending like she's concerned that these Scott brothers are, not going to get along, but who would have to take the sweatshirt off? But I know for sure that, she's not concerned about that. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and Kimmy and Maurice, I guess, are going to be hosting the event. They're going to be hosting the whole couples getaway that's, on the way, up the pike, about to happen. Next episode, I suppose. Hopefully Ken and Trisha will still be together. And hopefully Marcel and Trisha will too. Tisha will too. So this is kind of where things started, but this was the most interesting part of the episode for me. Tisha is at her office, pink spackling, putting spackle on the wall. I've used the pink sparkle before. It turns white when it's dry. That's the best kind to use, I guess, because then you know it's ready to get sanded down. So nothing wrong with that. This is the thing, Tisha. You want your office open? If I were her, I would just hire a contractor. I don't want to play no games with Marcel. He's full of shit and he's walking around in his feelings. Like he came in here just to start with her, it seems like. She was over here making a YouTube. Why was she doing that? Not a YouTube. Well, maybe, content. I don't know where she was posting it at, but she was over here making content to embarrass her husband. That's what she did because she's tired of waiting. But I'm not mad at her. But like I said, the only difference is my ass, I'm not going to be down there spackling anything. I'm going to go ahead, hire somebody to finish this shit. Like, Tisha, do you want it or not? Because he's standing in your way. And this nonsense that he came over here to talk, he just got back from Rome. How are you in Rome and none of your jobs are done? You got 4 different people waiting on you to finish the project, but in the middle of the project, you don't go on and go to Rome. Let me see. What'd you say, Pac? I don't blame Marcel for being annoyed that she was on live doing that. I don't blame her for doing it on live, but like I said, I personally would have just hired a contractor. I don't have time for this. I don't know what you're doing. You're in Rome. I want to have my business. I don't know what she needs business for, because we're talking about Tisha, who has the audacity to be over here telling Destiny, I thought this was just your first listing when she ain't did shit yet. The office that we've been looking through, I can go to her website. I'm not doing it because I keep doing it and nothing has changed. She has an office space next to Black that has not been rented yet. So I'm guessing, I don't know who paying for that. It's just sitting there looking like somebody's bathroom with marble tile all over things, because that's what Marcel does. He picks that same marble tile. He put it on the floor. He put it on the walls. He puts it, I don't know. To me, it looks like the way the studio, you can go over to scott.com realty, however their thing is, and look at it if you want to. But it looks to me like one of those places that will be good for, the girls that are doing the aesthetics, the eyebrows and the eyelashes and that kind of stuff. But she has been sitting there and nobody has rented it. And so, I mean, I don't know, like, what's supposed to happen with this office, because she's got enough real estate stuff that she could just stick her computer at home. He kicked her out of his office. He said in previous seasons that her realty wasn't generating money. Clearly. And then he built that house, that $650,000 box filled with that same marble tiling all over everything and black trim. I mean, sitting in the middle of a neighborhood that doesn't match anything that's around there. I don't know what his idea was, but I wouldn't want $650,000 for a house that's in a neighborhood where the other houses aren't worth that. So, there's property value things that, I don't own a home, but I know some things like about how that works. So she ain't sold that. She's not doing it. Girl, she was over there selling shampoo in mailing envelopes. So Trisha's business savvy ain't savvying. But if she's serious, like I said, if you really wanted to stick it to him, hire a contractor, because we know Marcel don't finish the job either. So he started this conversation with her about Destiny because clearly he just came to fight. So straight out the blue, he's just like, so what I want to know is, did you fight with Destiny? Why would that be a thing? You're all the way in Rome. Why are you asking me, did I fight with Destiny? Yes, she did fight with Destiny. They were down to an event, a girls' night out, and she decided, that Destiny was the one that went low because she said my husband doesn't support me. And so when she went low, like, y'all always want to say y'all did it. It wasn't us. It was her. She did it. Way to start at the end of the conversation, Tisha. That's not what happened. Destiny said that she don't know where you coming from and your friendship is like Tourette's. And you decided that Kimmy and her were laughing at you when I don't know, like, I'm still side-eyeing Kimmy because I think Kimmy be starting fires. So we won't talk about how her husband said he ready to go. And he would like for her to find somebody else to make her happy. But in order to, direct people away from that conversation, we'll come over here and get Tisha started because it's easy to do because she's insecure. And one thing Destiny knows how to do, it's like stroking a little puppy. It's okay, Tisha. It's okay. They have a quota of 2 scenes per season. where he puts her in her place. It's funny because I feel like, Pat, I feel like they go over their script off season, and then Tisha comes over here and follows the script, and then Marcel blindsides her with whatever it is he feels like hitting her upside the head with, because she always looks like a deer in headlights. Like, this isn't how this was supposed to go. I thought we discussed this. So yeah, he told her that she was out here in these streets embarrassing him because she fighting and arguing people. She over here trying to make it seem like her husband don't finish jobs. Marcel, you don't finish jobs. So she not trying to make it seem like anything. It is what it is. You could have come over here and put that damn spackle on the wall. Is that all it needed? At this point, don't MJ know how to do anything? He could have came over here. Y'all could have so this lady would have somewhere to sit and pretend like she's doing work, which we know she's not. She, I don't know what she does, honestly, but what I do know is she's the majority owner in that business. So tread lightly, Mr. Scott, because Tisha owns the business. And once Miss Wanda come over here running her mouth, it's gonna be hell for both of y'all. Anyway, he basically told his wife that her behavior is embarrassing and that she's representing him. And she said, no, she's also representing herself. I felt her like low key trying to fight this battle, but at the end of the day, her fight isn't going to amount to anything until she's ready to let his ass go. And the way he playing it off, like in the end, the Scott brothers have got together and plotted on how they're going to leave both of these heifers sitting at that bar looking a fool. I'm guessing that the bar is hers too. So Marcel, you're going to have to let Black go whenever this is over, if it ever does. Yeah, he said, what did he say? It was some old toxic masculine bullshit. Basically, like she's there to, represent him, and, whatever she does is a reflection of him. And she says she speaks, she speaks for herself. Like she's not just there to, be a support for him. He doesn't see it that way. He says that, she carries his last name, and if she don't want to act right, she could give his name back. What does that mean, you nincompoop, give your name back? So do you want a divorce? Is that what you're saying? Like, how can you give your name back? And I'd be damned. Like, ain't no way I'm going to let you put me through that. And not just like, this isn't like a conversation that most of us have the luxury of having in private. When you're a regular person and you're fighting with your partner and y'all are saying shit to each other that, you would prefer to keep behind closed doors, that's where they are, behind closed doors. But he waits until he gets over here in front of a film crew and says some nasty shit like that. And that's when she gets caught. Right when she was like in the middle of defending herself, she was doing a decent job of defending herself. And he hit her with the give me my name back. And she was standing there like kerfluffed, kerpuzzled. What the hell did you just say? Have your name back? Huh? Yeah, that's what he said. And I feel like I would take him seriously, and I wouldn't have continued that argument in front of those cameras. But I hope she has something to say to him afterwards. I doubt it. Because they all get down to Instagram and be somewhere like, at an event or something, him smoking a cigar and her like, hey, and acting like, they just love each other so much. So, if you like it, I love it, girl. We don't know what's going on. What is she even going to put in this office? She's doing all of this just to do what? I don't know. What's the year? Is it 2026? We might know by 2030 if this office is going to open or not. She's still sitting on them same two properties that she ain't sold. What else happened? Oh, they down to Black. The Scott 2.0. Here we go. So, Kimmy orchestrated this meeting so they can go down here and have a conversation. And what's happening is Tisha is explaining to Kimmy how Marcel just be coming at her, like talking to her, talking down to her, and not giving her a chance to express her feelings and her thoughts. And Kimmy's like, girl, that man love your bathwater. I don't know what that means, because it don't seem like he loved her bathwater, her kitchen water, her, I don't know, bathroom water. He doesn't like any of her water. He wants his name back. And while you worried about her, I think your husband wants his name back too. They having a conversation privately about like these kids is about to be out the house. MJ just left. What did Marcel tell her? He told her that next time, because when she came in, he fixed her a drink or whatever. And Marcel told her, next time you need help, you need to go ahead and ask me. The Lord has blessed you with a husband that's a leader, and you don't let him lead. And she was like, I can manage to lead myself, though. Like, I'm not looking just for a leader. But he told her, you don't have to, like, keep asking me. It's harassment. When you asking me something every 6 or 7 months, it's harassment. And I'm like, every 6 or 7 months. He sat up there and said that because I feel like 6 months for me is a long time for a project. I feel like 6 months for me is 2 months over schedule. Because depending on the project. And that little office that she had over there does not look like 6 weeks. It's an office. Gut that thing, put the floors and stuff down, paint the thing, and put the furniture in. What is the big issue with the office? I'm confused. You can't go over there and spackle the walls? Ugh. And I mean, he talking about other projects got to come first, the one that's making money. Well, which ones are coming first? Because we're not seeing anything get done, nothing. And you telling her she's nagging you if you say something 6 or 7 months. And Kimmy's asked, well, I have found, especially with Marceau, that if you start nagging him, then nothing is going to get done. Well, that's stupid. That's why you go ahead and hire a contractor. You don't nag him. If you want something done, then do it yourself. That's what you said when you was down on the floor. And I'm all pro like doing things myself. But if it's my office, I'm not doing that. I'm going to hire somebody to get it done. How much can it cost for get some, Julio and them to come down from the Home Depot and spackle your walls right quick? Anyway, these two are Marceau and Maurice. Maurice likes an opportunity to try to act like he's the educator in the conversation. And pretty much Marceau is not interested in anything he have to say either. He's like, MJ is going to school and we're coming to this place where I don't even know if I want to continue this role with her. And Maurice goes, you talking about marriage? And he said, I'm not going to say that. But I don't know if I want to continue, moving forward with her in the future. And I'm like, what does that mean if it's not marriage? The audacity of him to come up here. Is he on some now that she wants to have her own voice? I don't want her. It is. He going to try to put it. He already said the lady come from the other side of the tracks. I personally could not deal with Tisha as no friend, as no wife, as no anything. She is definitely behaves like, a 3-year-old who, kicks and screams on the floor when they don't get their way. So I understand like being irritated with the presence of Letitia. Is her name Letitia? Yeah. Anyway, that's where they left it. The nerve of this man, to be honest. They sit around bragging about how they're almost to their 20-year mark. This dude thinks that, 20 years is a decade. This is why he can't finish things. His math is not good. 20 years is not a decade. And I'm feeling like if that's how he does math, then there's no surprise to me that his projects don't get done on time because his math don't be mathing. So he probably has to redo things a lot. At the end of the day, she's devoted 20 years to him. And I feel like she doesn't know how to undo it. What happens after this? Same thing with Maurice. He had Monster come stay there. And now, Kimmy is, as much as Kimmy like to walk around acting like she's so much younger than now. And she wear her like belly shirts and stuff. And we know Kimmy went through a trial with cancer, which for me, hey, none of my business, but you would think she would want to be living her best life since, she was able to come out on the other side of this cancer, in a positive and, cancer free. So the thing she need to free herself of is the cancer that is Maurice. So she can finish living out her best life. She's, good looking lady, and she's got her businesses together. And the only thing that Maurice seems to be bringing to the table is baggage. She's in her 50s. Ain't no way you go tell me she's not. And she's full on menopausal. So, having sex for anyone, I don't care what stage in your life you're in, multiple times a day is ridiculous. Nobody, no woman's body is equipped to do that. And the fact that he would sit up there and say it without giving a care, I seen, in the previews for next week, she was talking about what's important to, for couples to have on a getaway. And he says sex. Ew. I don't even, I don't know what this man is working with. All I know is he's got a big head and, an irritating personality. So that's where they left it. Tisha is just trying to figure out what is her next steps in life. I don't think she's visualizing that without her husband. She's just trying to, see what's next for her. You can be married and still want to have your own thoughts, ideas. It's, a thing that people do all the time, but, not him. He doesn't want that. And so she's, like I said, thinking about what her future holds, and he's thinking about how he can, dump this chick so he can get on. How do I dump her? Like, the girls are going to go with their mother. His son is out. I don't think he has any interest in raising daughters because he didn't raise them. His father wasn't in the home, so I think he has the idea that being married and staying married is the same thing as raising your family. He seems to have a good relationship with his daughter. They don't have to live in the same house for that. Do I think they're going to get married? Only if Marcel leaves her. And that's, same thing with Kimmy. The only way they will get divorced if these Scott brothers, who seem to be plotting and planning and planning and plotting, do the leaving, doing the walking away, just like Teddy. Y'all gonna be over here like Tina. What's her name? Mary. Y'all gonna be like Tina over here sitting there surprised when Maurice and Marceau run down to the courthouse and file for divorce behind your back while you still trying to figure out where to put the chairs and is the spackle in the right place. Kimmy over here trying to reason. Well, we didn't talk it through. He's gone. It's a wrap. These two ladies will hold on and hold on and hold on to misery. And it seems like I said, these two Scott brothers are planning, their escape. So we're going to see. Next week, there's a couples retreat. Ken and Trisha are going to be there. So it seems like they're on an up. They're together that week. They're going to bring a therapist in there. I don't know that it's going to be Dr. Francis, but there's going to have a situation where the people have to talk about their relationships. Destiny is over there with Will. And I ain't mad at her. She said he's fun. He ain't getting no cootie cat, so he can, hang out and she can do whatever. Martell is going to be there. I don't know why. He didn't bring a partner. Y'all just not going to let him bring coleslaw. I don't think he wants to. Everybody says that he's not bringing her on here because Owen won't let him. I think it's Martell. I think the Martell doesn't want her over here. So that's what I think. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen over here on this retreat getaway, y'all. So like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'll be back next on Monday, 7 o'clock for some Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10:15 a.m. for some coffee talk. We didn't get into coffee talk this morning. So yeah, we're going to double up tomorrow. So bring your sandwich because we probably roll all the way into lunchtime, y'all. That's it. That's all. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.